In 1998, when Michael Jordan won his final NBA championship, the mid-range jumper was the dominant shot in basketball. It made up 40% of all field goal attempts, while just 11% of shots came from beyond the arc. Fast forward to 2023, and the landscape has flipped. Three-pointers now make up 39% of all field goal attempts, while mid-range shots have plummeted to just 13%. This shift happened as the three-point revolution took off, largely thanks to players like Steph Curry, who changed the game with his ability to shoot from deep. Teams quickly adapted, prioritizing three-pointers and layups. As defenses became hyper-focused on guarding the perimeter, the mid-range became more open, and surprisingly, it didn't disappear. It became a skill reserved for only the most proficient and efficient players, much like the three-point shooter of the 1990s. Let's start with number 10 on our list, DeMar DeRozan. DeRozan has resisted the three-point revolution more than any other modern player. Despite constant pushes from coaches to shoot more threes, DeRozan has always been comfortable inside the arc. In fact, over the last 7 years he led the NBA in mid-range attempts 4 times. Mid-range shots account for 51% of his scoring, compared to just 9% from 3. He shoots at a 42% clip, which is impressive considering the difficulty of his shots. DeRozan's footwork, pump fakes, and ability to turn over either shoulder make him one of the toughest players to guard. At number 9 we have NBA legend Larry Bird. Though we don't have precise stats from Bird's era, we know he was a mid-range master. Bird averaged 19 field goal attempts per game, with most of them coming from inside the arc. His two-point shooting percentage was 51%, so it's safe to say many of those attempts were mid-range shots. Number 8 goes to Carmelo Anthony. Melo was known for his ability to score in a variety of ways, but his mid-range game was the heart of his offensive repertoire. His signature jump shot was deadly, especially in isolation situations. Throughout his career, Melo averaged over 7.5 mid-range shots per game, making them at a 41% rate. While some players were more efficient, Melo's consistency and volume make him a top-tier mid-range shooter. His performance in the 2013 game against Miami, where he scored 50 points, is a perfect example of his mid-range dominance. At number 7 we have Kevin Garnett. KG, known for his defense and trash-talking, was also an elite mid-range shooter. As a stretch 4, his mid-range jumper became a staple of his offensive game. Mid-range shots made up 55% of Garnett's total offense, and he shot 45% from mid-range in the playoffs. Number 6 on our list is none other than Kobe Bryant. Kobe was a master of all areas of scoring, but his mid-range game was arguably the most dangerous. His ability to create space with his footwork, combined with his pump fakes and counters, made him virtually unstoppable in the mid-range. Mid-range shots made up 44% of Kobe's offensive attempts, and he shot 41% from that range in the regular season and 42% in the playoffs. Kobe's ability to score under extreme defensive pressure makes his mid-range shooting one of the most impressive in NBA history. At number 5 is Kawhi Leonard. Leonard, known for his defense and quiet demeanor, has quietly become one of the best mid-range shooters in the NBA. Mid-range shots make up about 1/3 of his total attempts, and he converts them at a 46% clip. His shooting percentages in the playoffs are even higher, where he's consistently shot over 50%. During his 2019 finals run, Leonard's mid-range shooting was a huge factor in the Raptors' title victory. Number 4 goes to Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk, widely regarded as the best shooting big man in NBA history, revolutionized the game with his one-legged fadeaway jumper. Mid-range shots made up 55% of his total offensive attempts, and he shot 47% from that range. Dirk's ability to hit shots over defenders, especially with his height, made him nearly unguardable. His efficiency in the 2011 playoffs, where he shot 48% from mid-range while taking nearly 10 attempts per game, helped lead the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA championship. At number 3 we have Chris Paul. The point guard known as the Point God has been one of the best mid-range shooters for over a decade. His ability to use the pick and roll to get into his sweet spots, especially at the elbow, has made him one of the most deadly mid-range shooters of all time. Paul shoots 48% from mid-range in both the regular season and playoffs, and his performance in the 2021 finals, where he shot 60%, solidified his place as a top-tier shooter. Number 2 goes to Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is known for his elite scoring ability, and his mid-range game is a huge part of his offensive arsenal. Durant has shot over 55% from mid-range in 3 seasons, a feat no other player has matched. His ability to shoot from anywhere on the floor, combined with his size, makes him one of the most unstoppable mid-range scorers ever. Durant's shooting touch and his consistency in both the regular season and playoffs put him high on this list. And finally, at number 1 we have Michael Jordan. When it comes to the mid-range game, Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. While early in his career he was known for his dunking, his mid-range jumper became the focal point of his offensive game in the late 80s and early 90s. Jordan's ability to create separation with his size and athleticism allowed him to hit his patented turnaround jumper over anyone. Mid-range shots made up 65% of his scoring in his final seasons, and he made 45% of those shots. Whether it was a game winner or an open shot, Jordan's mid-range jumper was one of the most lethal weapons in basketball history. In conclusion, the mid-range jumper may have faded in prominence in today's NBA, but these players have proven that it's far from dead. They mastered the craft in different eras, and their skill in hitting shots from inside the arc has left an indelible mark on the game of basketball.